Do it.
Roger.
It's unfair.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey guys, so today I want to talk about the possibility of Episode 9 being split into two movies. The rumor is floating around, and how legit it is, well, it's a rumor. So at this point, it's just conjecture and theory. However, if it's to follow the same footsteps as Infinity War and Harry Potter, what could this mean? It would do a lot for the story and the fandom in general. For the latter, it would silently say, yeah, Episode 8 mixed up a lot of things and didn't really reveal anything plot-wise. In essence, it was kind of just filler. We didn't explain much. We didn't explain the Knights of Ren, Snoke, Luke, or what he's been doing in this time, cover the Force ghosts, show Rey's proper training, or any backstory to her at all. This would show fans that they recognize what happened, good or bad, and want to take the next step to spread the story out and not make it so rushed. Now, for the story, it would do so much good. We'd get to see so much more of Luke. This would open up its own sector of possibilities, where we can cover flashbacks after Return of the Jedi leading up to The Last Jedi. It could take us to a whole new world of Force ghosts. It could throw us into Anakin's story of how he turned into a ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi, or show us Obi-Wan. Luke's training would start all over again, but this time with the Jedi Masters in the next world. The possibilities alone for that story are endless, so who else could we see? Just look at this concept design from Episode 7. JJ wanted to bring Anakin back, Hayden Christensen to come back as a Force ghost, split between the light and the dark as Vader and Anakin. That would be so unbelievably amazing if we could discover his story and his side of things in two different variants. Well, we can also see Rey's backstory. Who is she? Why was she left on Jakku? How did Kylo come into contact with Snoke? How did he become so obsessed with Vader? Where did Luke get the Sith Kyber crystal from? Why does he keep it around? Why did Obi-Wan speak to Rey in the Force Vision in Episode 7, if you guys remember? I want to see more of Kylo and his fight between the light and the dark. More of the Knights of Ren, more of a backstory there. And of course, Snoke. They could literally make the first episode of 9 all about flashbacks, where Luke comes to Rey as a Force ghost and tells the story of how he built his new Jedi Order and trained Ben. And we would just go into this flashback sort of movie on its own, going in and out, where we're seeing the story through his eyes and he's narrating parts of it. Showing him growing his Jedi Order, training Ben, how he saw his immense powers, and then leading up to his fall. The rise of the Knights of Ren, the swift movement that Snoke pulled over the galaxy, making him the leader of the First Order, or, the new Empire in other words. I just feel if they'd close the final chapter of the Skywalker saga in 2 hours, it just won't be enough time to tell the whole story. They'll be skipping too many things and leaving the fans feeling unsatisfied. At least compared to giving us a longer story. I think if we got, let's say, Episode 9 and 10, which Episode X, that would sound pretty cool, then things would be a lot more interesting going forwards. Now, what I don't want to see, I'll briefly say, more storylines between Finn and Rose. I thought those characters were extremely boring. They just don't really offer much to the storyline. I understand they're kind of trying to make it like Han Solo and Leia, but it just doesn't fit. I don't know, it just doesn't work. The chemistry or something is just off about the characters. The way they were written could have been written in such a more interesting and adventurous way. This one has to be about Luke. The last one had some politics of casinos and slavery, which are very important topics, but leave that out of Star Wars, and if you're going to put it in, don't spend more time on that than the main character, who we didn't even see mourn his best friend's death because apparently the film didn't have enough time, moving it to deleted scenes. This one should really be all about the Skywalker lineage, and I don't think we can cover that all in just 120 minutes. I mean, it might be wrong, JJ might pull something really amazing, but I think if we spread it out, we'd get more action and more of a story, just like what they're doing with Infinity War. Now, the issue here is I know Disney wants to take Rey and Finn and Poe and make another series about them, so I can definitely see why they're focusing so much on their character developments throughout the sequels. I guess they hope that this will get fans further invested in what happens to them. However, I just hope it doesn't come at the cost of cutting the closing chapter to the characters that actually really matter, that have been around for over 40 years. So that's my brief thoughts on why I think Episode 9 should be split into 2 movies. Now, if we will or if we won't get that, who knows? We won't see until another year and a half when Episode 9 comes out. But I want to know what you guys think about it. Should Episode 9 be cut into 2 parts, essentially an Episode 9 and Episode 10, or Star Wars X? So let me know, and I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends, remember,
the Force will be with you always.
Now, fulfill your destiny.